this looks like a miniature version of Doctor Who's TARDIS. Now there used to be hundreds of these scattered over London, but they've all been taken away except for this one because it must be left unchanged. Now this is where the police used to call for backup before the days of VHS. Also the red phone box, that's the last of the old K1 style boxes visible from the River Thames. They've all been replaced by the glass boxes, and unfortunately that one's just been sold to a property developer. Within a couple of months that will be a 3-bedroom luxury riverside apartment. On your right you'll see an archway, that's the Temple Arch or the Temple Gate, the boundary mark that separates the square mile city of London and the city of Westminster we've just entered. The vessel on your right is the Wellington, the former royal yacht of the New Zealand Navy. It was so up until 1940. Now she came to London in the 1970s and since then has served as a floating livery hall for the company of Master Mariners. On your left hand side you've got a black and white glass fronted building, that's Kent House, the headquarters of LWT. Now if you're from London and you watch Richard and Judy, London Tonight, or any of the other rubbish on Channel 3, you probably noticed they use this part of the Thames as a backdrop to their programmes. Now they regularly zoom right in on these boats, so the chances are right now we're all on television. On your left hand side with the electronic display board on the front is the National Theatre. That building is so ugly that for 6 years running it was voted London's ugliest building by top architects. A couple of years ago, Prince Charles judged that competition. He said that the building was the carbuncle of the South Bank and he added it reminded him of a big set of drawers. We couldn't quite see that ourselves, we thought it was like a multi-storey car park. The only thing that we could think of at the time was that he might have actually meant mirror drawers. On your right hand side with the green dome on the roof is the old Palace of Somerset. That building used to house all the Dukes and Earls of Somerset. In more recent years it's been the Registrar General's office where they stored the records of the births, marriages and deaths in England and Wales. The building was known as in the civil service as the Hatcham, Matcham and Dispatcham Department. This is Waterloo Bridge, known as the Ladies' Bridge, as it was constructed by a lady workforce. The reason for that, it was built during World War II, and all the men was out of the country fighting for the king. Now, true to form, the ladies chose an expensive stone, a self-cleansing Portland stone, which explains why the faces are very clean, where the rain penetrates, but the underside, where the rain cannot touch, really shows up London's grime. That aside, pat on the back, ladies, you built a very nice bridge. If anyone's concerned with going under a bridge filled by ladies, we can put your mind at rest and assure you that there was a man in charge. Or at least we thought he was in charge. Ahead of us on your right hand side you will see a granite column on the river wall. This is Cleopatra's Needle. It has nothing to do with the Egyptian Queen Cleopatra, but it was in fact a gift from the Egyptians because during the Battle of the Nile, when they defeated Napoleon and the French, we gave them an almighty hand, supplying them with their soldiers, their arms and their ammunition. In return for that very kind gesture, they then supplied us with a stick of rock. There's also evidently an identical one to that in Central Park, New York. Now there is something wrong with Cleopatra's Needle. Who is going to tell me what it is? What is it? Yeah, you've been on the boat earlier today? Yes, you cheated. Oh, on the bus. Now, that's the mistake. The two black lion-type figures, the sphinxes, they are facing the wrong way round. Instead of facing outwards, guarding the needle, they are facing inwards, admiring the needle. That mistake went hundreds of years completely unnoticed, and it was only noticed about 3 summers ago by me.